The Eastern Mediterranean is a growing arena for oil and gas exploration, and given the success of recent exploration around Cyprus and Israel, it has the potential to become a hotly contested area. Now, there are already tensions in the region revolving around disputed maritime boundaries and, of course, the ongoing division of Cyprus.
Noble Energy has started drilling the second well in its Aphrodite prospect offshore Cyprus in Block 12 of that country's offshore area, which borders Israel. Second well is aimed at proving up the resources that were discovered in the first well back in 2011, where the resource estimate was for 5 to 8 trillion cubic feet of gas. The find would be sufficient for Cyprus to supply its own energy needs and also potentially to export gas in the form of LNG. Looking at this map here, one can see that a number of Cypriot offshore blocks are claimed by both the TRNC, Turkey and Cyprus. This is one of a number of boundary disputes in this increasingly resource-rich area, with only the boundary between Cyprus and Israel fully delineated. Historically, all the countries in this region have been resource poor, and so the prospect of significant gas discoveries is important, both for energy security and for revenues.
During the initial round of drilling for gas in the Eastern Mediterranean in 2011, we did see a pretty significant ramp-up in tensions between Turkey and Cyprus and Israel on the other side. For instance, Turkey sent in a seismic exploration vessel that was accompanied by a naval warship and aviation assets. And in late 2011 and again in mid-2012, we saw Turkey scramble F-16 fighters to chase off Israeli fighters that were violating northern Cypriot airspace. Also in July 2012, Turkey conducted naval maneuvers inside Cyprus's waters. And while this wasn't illegal, it was certainly a provocative action by the Turks. Since 2011, there have been some gas finds in the region, raising the stakes somewhat. And this has driven an increase in naval acquisition from the major powers, specifically for Turkey. Turkey is in the middle of 3 programs to boost its offshore and littoral combat capability. The first of these is a program to roll out 16 patrol craft, 56-meter patrol vessels. This is a program designed to produce 1 every 3 months and is expected to be finished in 2015. Second, Turkey is also in the middle of a program to produce 4 offshore patrol vessels, or OPVs. These are 88-meter variants of the Italian Comandante class and are all equipped with helipad for anti-submarine warfare or surveillance helicopters. Also, Turkey is in the midst of a program to produce a domestically designed corvette called the Milgem program. These are 99-meter corvettes, about 2,000 tons each. And they are almost all domestically designed, including domestically designed components such as radar and surveillance equipment. Along with Turkey's boost in offshore and littoral combat capability, Israel has taken delivery of its 5th Dolphin-class submarine. Israel's Ministry of Finance has also allocated $800 million to naval acquisition. And finally, Israel shipyards have unveiled a new concept known as the SAR S-72. This is the most modern warship concept to date. It calls for a multi-purpose patrol vessel or corvette, although designs have yet to be released. In Cyprus, in January 2013, the Ministry of Finance gave the go-ahead for the Navy to move ahead with the acquisition of 2 OPVs. Now, it's not sure what form these are going to take or where they're going to be sourced from, but once acquired, it will allow Cyprus to take bigger steps to secure its own waters and reduce its reliance on external security partners.
Nevertheless, despite the tensions and some action on the Turkish side to censor energy investors working in Cyprus, Cyprus has still moved forward with further license awards. Bidders were attracted by the successes offshore Israel and also the success of Noble Energy in Cyprus Block 12. In the last 6 months, 5 new awards have been made, 3 going to Italy's Eni and South Korea's Kogas, and 2 awards made to French-based Total, with signature bonuses making a welcome contribution to the beleaguered Cypriot economy. However, the entry of new players, a number of whom hold acreage also claimed by Turkey's TPAO, means that there is scope for further standoffs in the region as seismic and drilling programs move forward. Meanwhile, Noble Energy will be looking to monetize its discovery if the second well proves up the reserves encountered at the Aphrodite-1 well. Monetization of the discoveries is also likely to be challenging as a result of the dual claims to acreage and unresolved boundaries. Noble is considering a number of different options. While pipelines might be cheaper, the drawbacks are that they could limit markets and make Cyprus reliant on transit countries. That makes an LNG facility perhaps the most likely route to market, enabling gas to be loaded onto tankers and sold to more distant markets. The terminal could also potentially play host to some Israeli gas discoveries, although current policy thinking in Israel favours facilities located in its territorial waters or onshore. However, Cyprus's strong hope is that further exploration in the region yields further discoveries in order to bolster the reserves available from Block 12 and potentially increase the size of any LNG facility. Current expectations are that exports could begin in the early 2020s, with gas coming 185 kilometres to the Cypriot shore by around 2019-2020, although investment decisions on that have still to be made. That provides a significant timeline for further disputes, particularly if Turkish state-owned TPAO starts to drill in the same areas awarded to other investors.
2011 and 2012 were particularly tense times in the Eastern Mediterranean, especially following the Gaza flotilla raid in 2010, otherwise known as the Mavi Marmara incident. The apology of the Israeli Prime Minister to the Turkish Prime Minister earlier this year took big steps in reducing those tensions. Furthermore, the Turkish government currently has far more pressing issues than throwing its weight around in the Eastern Mediterranean. Obviously, we've seen massive internal upheaval in Turkey over the last month. We also have ongoing civil war in Syria just next door, and of course there's the perennial Kurdish issue, which is more of a priority for the government at the moment. Turkish Prime Minister Erdogan is himself losing substantial support within his own party due to the internal upheaval. And so I don't think that it is in his interest to further ramp up tensions in the Eastern Mediterranean at the moment. Also, EU accession remains a priority for Turkey, and any saber-rattling or aggression that they do carry out in Eastern Mediterranean may negatively impact those chances. So while we could see a Turkish naval deployment in the Eastern Mediterranean, particularly given the recent rhetoric by the Turkish Cypriots, which called the latest round of drilling provocative, I don't think we'll see any flare-ups as we did in 2011 this time around. However, in the medium to long term, given Turkey's naval buildup, given Turkey's elections upcoming, which have the potential to install a new government, and given Turkey's potential failure at EU accession, I do think the calculation for the Turkish government could change. And they could decide, particularly given any big finds in oil and gas off the coast of Cyprus, that it is more in their interest to throw their weight around in the Eastern Med.